What would happen if all men disappeared tomorrow? Society would collapse. Same as if all women disappeared tomorrow. My sun would be gone, and my heart would shatter into a billion fractured pieces. I would say within 24 hours the lights would go out. 93 of power plant operators are men. Water would stop running. Soon after 92 male and women would have to helicopter. 95 male. Any remaining theoretical physicists 76 male all over the place to try and safely stop nuclear plants and prevent meltdown. Military 80 male would try to step in, but without firefighters 88 male and police 87 male. Complete chaos would erupt. Female doctors could probably hold their own, but with 72 critical care, 71 ER, and 70 EMT being male, it wouldn't be an easy task. First of all, Reddit dies in a week. Civilization as we know it would collapse, and it'd still be men's fault. OnlyFans would go bust. The debate over what a woman is would finally be over. I'd really miss my husband and my dad. Why the Last Man, a comic about all men around the world dying simultaneously, had an infographic about the impact. Aside from the loss of population, most airline pilots are men, as well as farmers, engineers, and doctors. Something like 90 or more of politicians around the world are men. So, not only would society completely collapse, but the skills and knowledge to rebuild would also be largely lost to most of the world as well. Later in the comic you find out countries with monarchies tended to fare better. Queen Elizabeth took direct control of the UK and several countries reinstated monarchies to have some form of functioning government. Need more clarification. By men, do you mean all males, or just adults? Would every woman pregnant with a boy suddenly miscarry? Some sexist idiots would cheer at first and slowly begin to realize how fucked they are. Neither of us can exist without the other. So many pickle jars all unopened. Sewage and garbage would fill the streets. Electricity and internet will go down sooner or later. I expect the lack of electricity would be a massive problem in just a few hours. Basically, the civilization would collapse in less than 48 hours. No food deliveries, no farming done. Every construction project immediately ceases. Infrastructure begins its immediate decline, and all wars pretty much end. Unless women can find a way to procreate, the last women probably just live in raggedy communes and struggle to keep fed because most of the farms died with the men. Adaptation will eventually see women overcome and thrive if they can successfully keep our species going. Price of frozen semen skyrockets, and every boy born from new generation is going to be truly treasured since they are the only males left. Decades until anyone can reproduce again, and the total population is declining since no new births occur. Humanity isn't at risk of extinction, but will no longer be the same. Those boys are still going to be brought up without male model. Historical accounts of when men really were will inevitably get twisted either way, and the new generation will be forced to follow whatever image or stereotype the society cooks up. Oh, and an absolutely inevitable infrastructure collapse. HTTPS. I wouldn't have to worry about going into work tomorrow. Lesbians would rule the world. There'd be no men, so 50-ish of the population would crumble. Essentially a Thanosing on the gender line, so chaos would hit the first couple of hour stays. Cars crash, planes fall out of the sky, ships run into piers, etc. If you have the population on any line though, that would occur. Men aren't special in that way. We would need to start putting money into replacing men. So bioengineering, cloning, storing all of the currently kept semen we have on hand. There's countless sci-fi scenarios that would keep us all going. We would need to refill critical spots in currently male-dominated fields. Basically would just become life at some point. It's not like there's not Trump terrible women. Politics wouldn't probably be that different. Wealth distribution would be interesting though. Edit. My favorite thing right now is stat bros thinking they get to eat our food still in this scenario and like they are just not helping anymore. You're gone bros. Which if it isn't the most bro thing to do, what is? What would happen? I'd go get a few drinks and savor the taste of chaos. The world's infrastructure would absolutely collapse. At least in most large population centers, all the energy, water, sewage, and garbage is handled by men. This is obviously a generalization. There are some women among these roles, but they are vastly outnumbered by men.